ProductionCrate.com. ProductionCrate.com.
Welcome everyone, welcome to the stream. I hope you're having fun tonight, or today I mean. You guys are excited today to see if Portsmouth can get their... I don't know if they've got their first win of the season yet, but let's see what happens. This game is going to be quite a difficult game, but let's see.
ProductionCrate.com. ProductionCrate.com.
Okay, it looks like they didn't get a win yet. So let's see if they can win today at home at Portsmouth. Let's see if Portsmouth FC could snatch that win and win it.
ProductionCrate.com. 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 ProductionCrate.com.
Now, Portsmouth, it's going to be a really, really intense game here. I'm not going to be doing live commentating for it, but what an amazing game this is going to be. So here we go, Portsmouth. It's going to be really, really intense, guys. because it's going to be one of those games where you really want to get points on the score sheet. And they are inside. I don't know if they're inside the relegation zone just yet. But yeah. West Brom. So here we go, guys. So thank you for all the support. Please like and subscribe and post notifications. And yes, here we go. Kickoff is almost time, and we're going to be listening to live commentary, for from the the radio, or technically called the other people. But anyway, guys, yes. So this is going to be awesome. I can't wait to see who is going to win at the end of this game. So guys, I'll be back with you guys at half time. See you guys in a bit.
Might look like being a little bit of value. Jason Malumbi was the last goal scorer for the Baggies in that 1-0 win last time around. He's 8-1 to score at any time, but the odds suggest the Baggies are boinging their way to the top of the table.
OK, Ben, thanks very much indeed. That's all thanks to William Hill. Get epic value all season with William Hill. 18+, begambleaware.org.
In the Zone on TalkSport 2 with William Hill. Prepare.
Arsenal 0 at half-time in the North London derby in the Premier League. Wolves Newcastle at 4:30 in the Scottish Premiership. It finished Dundee United 0, Rangers 1. We'll keep you up to date with the Premier League this afternoon. Let's get a quick weather report on TalkSport 2, all thanks to QuickFit.
Game day weather report on TalkSport 2 with QuickFit.
Against West Brom, it's about 18 degrees and it's been lovely and sunny, nice and warm in the build-up to kick-off here. As we were saying, goalless in the Premier League at half-time between Spurs and Arsenal in a fiery North London derby. 21 degrees and sunny for the most part, and in the late afternoon kick-off, Wolves will take a trip to face Newcastle United. The forecast is predicting a warm but cloudy afternoon. That was today's weather report, brought to you by QuickFit. From tyres to servicing, MOTs, brakes and more, visit your local centre or quickfit.com to keep your car safe and match fit. Selected centres apply.
Game day weather report on TalkSport 2 with QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
And so the two teams are out on the field here at Fratton Park. Portsmouth in the blue and white with red socks to the left of the halfway line, and West Brom I think will be in the change kit today. They've got the tracksuit tops on over the top of their shirts before we get off and underway. As I say, it's a lovely afternoon for football on the south coast. There are about 2,000 West Bromwich Albion fans behind the goal at the Milton end to the right-hand side. That's split between home and away supporters. You can't get a ticket at Fratton Park these days, Scott Minto, but John Mousinho has been saying this week they have had to make some adjustments to the playing style. The Championship, as we were saying earlier, is a very different beast.
Yeah, and it's a really difficult thing to do, because actually last season they sort of pressed high and they were one of the better sides, well, obviously the best side in the end. And coming up is a little bit worried about how to play against the top sides, and I think he's been really unlucky with the fixtures. But he really needs to work out who they are, what they want to do. Do they go back to how they were playing last season? On the other hand, jumping up a division is a big leap, of that there's no doubt. And you can't just suddenly say, right, I'm going to be doing this and we're going to do this against a much better side. So, it's a very difficult thing for a young, inexperienced manager to do, as we know with Russell Martin at Southampton. He's got a plan A, and plan B is to make plan A better. well, when you step up, it's a very difficult thing to do, to suddenly ask your players to say, keep on playing the same way when you're up against a Liverpool and Man United and a Manchester City. And the principle is the same here. So I'm fascinated to see, after 2 weeks of working on training, exactly how he wants his team to play.
Well, we'll find out in the next few moments here, live on TalkSport 2, your exclusive home of national radio commentary from the EFL. And we are getting news that there's been a change on the bench for Portsmouth. Cassini Yengi has had to drop out, so Elias Sørensen has moved up to be part of the Portsmouth substitutes today. No Cassini Yengi. We can only assume there was an injury in the build-up. West Brom have taken off the tracksuit tops. They're wearing their change kit today. It's the yellow and blue shirts with sort of blue pinstripes, dark blue shorts and dark blue socks. And Portsmouth in the royal blue shirts, white shorts and red socks this afternoon. Is this the day they get their first win of the new campaign? Or will the Baggies, buoying up to the top of the championship table? It's very early days, but things are looking good early on for Carlos Corberán's team. Well, what has happened at the very start is that they have changed ends. So Portsmouth will kick towards that tall, single-tiered Fratton end in the first half, which is a little unusual for them. Portsmouth will play from right to left, and West Brom will attack the Milton end in the first half from left to right. Well, the sun shines. The referee Lee Doughty is ready to get the match underway on what has been a fantastic weekend so far of football, live across the TalkSport network, and it all continues right here. We'll keep you up to date with all the goals as they go in from the Premier League this afternoon, but our focus is on the EFL on TalkSport 2. Portsmouth kickers off, go back to goalkeeper Norris, who launches a high long ball downfield, and that's going to drift out of play for a West Brom throw in their left back position on the far side of the field. Carl Bartley wanted to take the throw quickly, but he's been told to desist by the referee Doughty, and the tall fullback Torbjorn Heggem, the Norwegian, will go across to take it instead on that far side, the West Bromwich Albion left. There is a little bit of wind at pitch level, certainly. You can see the corner flags fluttering away, but other than that, it's a great day for football as West Brom go back to their goalkeeper Alex Palmer. Remember, West Brom unchanged for a fifth league game in succession. I remind you of the two teams in just a moment as Darnell Furlong looks to make some headway down the near side, the West Brom right, and he's won a throw off Josh Murphy, and Furlong takes it quickly. He's found Fellows in the area, he pulls it back, and Madger has scored inside 55 seconds. What a start for West Bromwich Albion. Portsmouth caught cold straight away, and the Baggies may well be soaring to the top of the championship table. They broke oh so quickly, a simple throw-in, Portsmouth defensively nowhere, Tom Fellows cut it back, and there was Madger to smash home his fifth of the season and send the West Brom supporters bouncing up and down. Portsmouth 0, West Bromwich Albion 1. Some of the fans around us are still taking their seats.
Too easy, far too easy. My goodness, it's a throw-in, and it's a really good little bit of movement from Tom Fellows in behind. But you've got to be aware, especially in the first minute. I mean, we talked about this is a Portsmouth side who have yet to win, yet to feel comfortable in the Championship, who want to, after working 2 weeks in the international break, to say, yeah, we're going to show that we are going to go again and win, even though we know we're up against a very good side. You cannot afford to give away goals like that and so early. Quick throw in, over the top, great play from Fellows, and Madger, I mean, he started the season on fire, isn't he? Going into the international break, you got Fellows, who was top assist maker, you got Madger, who was the top scorer, and that's exactly what we saw with the combination there. Great cutback, great finish, brilliant start for the Baggies, the worst possible start for Pompey.
Less than a minute gone, and Josh Madger has scored again for West Bromwich Albion. That's 5 goals in 5 for him so far this season. Portsmouth 0, West Brom 1, and John Messina, the Portsmouth head coach, standing alone on the edge of his technical area at the base of the main stand. He's got his arms folded, and he must not be able to fathom what he's just seen. Portsmouth totally switched off from that throw, and West Brom made them pay. It's another assist for Tom Fellows and another goal for Josh Madger, and West Brom just cannot do anything wrong in these early stages of the new season.
Yeah, look, in terms of John Mousinho, it went perfectly, didn't it, last season? I don't think he would have got many grey hairs over the last 12 months, but I tell you what, the next 12 he certainly will, because he'll be scratching his head and thinking, how on earth do we give away a sloppy goal like that? If a top side comes and opens you up with great 1-2 touch play or a wonderful strike from 25 yards, then you hold your hands up and you say, fair enough. Something like that, you cannot afford to give away a goal in those kind of circumstances.
And that's 4 assists in the first 5 games for Fellows, who is certainly getting noticed.
And 5 goals for Madger.
West Bromwich Albion lead by a goal to 0. Good noise from the Portsmouth fans. I guess the good thing for Portsmouth, and still there are people who've missed that goal, Scott, who are still arriving at the stadium late and packing into all of the 21,000 or so seats. The good thing for Portsmouth is there's just about the entirety of the game still to go.
Yeah, I mean, do you think if they don't look up at the scoreboard and they just arrived,
they might forget it?
0-0?
They might not know.
It can still be 0-0.
Paddy Lane has won the ball back high up the pitch on the right-hand side. A little bit more energy and impetus about Portsmouth now. 1-0 down at home. We've had 4 minutes live on your home of the EFL TalkSport 2. Reverse ball towards Sadie in the penalty area. Corner of the box, blocked off by 6'4" Carl Bartley. Bartley and Ajayi have been a very steady central defensive pairing for West Brom so far this season. The ball is hoisted downfield towards Madger again. Lovely touch on towards Fellows. He's one-on-one with Conor Ogilvie on the near side, the inside right channel. Fellows dribbles to the edge of the penalty area, shoots low, and it's only a couple of yards wide of the far post as West Brom threaten again, and Portsmouth look capable of conceding every time West Brom come forward.
Well, we've just been playing not yet 5 minutes, and West Brom look so dangerous, don't they? And they've got to be so careful with Tom Fellows. He's a young lad, he's made his England under-21 debut recently. You know, he's playing with such confidence at the moment. He was brilliant last season, started off brilliant this season, and it's something which Pompey, a player, they need to watch out for. And look, if I'm Conor Ogilvie, I'm sometimes just saying to my wide player, look, just sit in front, help me out here first 5-10 minutes. One thing Portsmouth cannot afford to do is go 2-0 down. They need to somehow just slow the game down, get hold of the ball, and even if they don't score or create too many chances, just stop West Brom creating chances themselves.
Zach Swanson has prodded the ball forward towards the corner flag on the far side, and the run of Paddy Lane. The ball is cleared away by the West Brom goalkeeper Alex Palmer. Portsmouth 0, West Bromwich Albion 1. The goal from Madger no later than 55 seconds. It may have been a couple of seconds even quicker than that. I'll remind you of the 2 teams then. Portsmouth, Norris is the goalkeeper. Swanson, Williams, McIntyre and Ogilvie, Pack and Dazelle, Lane, Lang and Murphy behind Sadie up front. And for West Bromwich Albion, that unchanged side again, Palmer the goalkeeper, Furlong, Ajayi, Bartley and Hegham, Mowat and Malumbi, Fellows, Swift and Grant behind the goal scorer Madger up front. Portsmouth attacking the Fratton end in the first half. In these tight confines of Fratton Park, Swanson goes down under the challenge of Hegham. The Pompey fans scream for a foul. Referee says no penalty. Now it's back with the Portsmouth captain Pack. Lovely inside ball to find Swanson, who's cut back from the dead ball line, is turned behind, and Portsmouth have a corner. What a start here on the south coast. Former Chelsea defender Scott Minter.
Great reaction from Portsmouth, exactly what you want, especially with his fans staying right behind them all the time. And it's Swanson getting inside the box. It wasn't a penalty, but he got the ball again. Decent cutback, good defending. Now a chance of a corner.
Brilliant noise. Corner into the near post, and Ogilvie, can he get his shot away with his back to goal? It's cleared only as far as Lang from distance. A low shot that is blocked by Mowat. And now Furlong can gallop forward and cannon the ball up towards halfway. That's thundered off the back of the head of Callum Lang, a former Liverpool youth team player, joined in January from Wigan Athletic. And the ball goes out of play for a throw to West Brom in their right back position on the near side. And Carlos Corberán, ever demonstrative as ever. We can see him down at the front of the main stand here. One of the many great things about Fratton Park, a ground that I've always enjoyed coming to, full of character, is that you're nice and close to the pitch. The fans are right on top of the action. There's barely a hair's breadth between the players and the fans themselves, and I think at Portsmouth that's just the way they like it.
And we're on the very back row, and yet we feel really
I feel like I'm on the pitch, Scott.
Absolutely. No, it's a great old school stadium.
1-0 to West Brom. Lovely floated ball by Pack down the middle. Josh Murphy nearly got there, stretching for it. Palmer, the goalkeeper, timed his run out of goal just in time to collect the ball on the edge of the penalty area. Josh Murphy making his Portsmouth debut today after an ankle injury.
Yeah, and we know the class that he's got, certainly at this level. He want to try. It's going to be a fascinating battle between him and Darnell Furlong. Both very, very good players, but that ball in over the top and just in behind, he was very nearly in there, wasn't he? Just stretching.
Tottenham 0, Arsenal 0 in the North London derby. The 4:30 kick-off is Wolves against Newcastle at Molineux. In the Scottish Premiership early today, it finished Dundee United 0, Rangers 1. And we've got NFL for you on TalkSport 2 once we're done here. Live coverage of the opening Sunday of the season, as Ajayi slides in on Christian Sadie, who put in a strong and reckless challenge on Darnell Furlong in the West Brom right back position. That's a yellow card for the Portsmouth frontman Sadie. Looked like he really left his right foot in there, firm and hard on Furlong, who went to ground, didn't get anywhere near the ball, and a frustrated challenge from Sadie gets him a booking.
Now I think that's, well, one, the challenge of a striker, and two, a challenge of a frustrated player to see his team go 1-0 down. And we were still very early in the game, as you rightly say. The only consolation of conceding is the timing of it. You know, in one sense it looks like you're sort of starting 1-0 down, but you've still got practically the whole of the game, certainly 90 minutes plus, to get back into it. But Sadie's got to stay disciplined. You can't be making too many challenges like that. And whether you're a defender or whether you're a striker, you have to be very careful from now on when you get that early booking, that you don't flail an elbow when a defender's trying to get round you, and you make another late tackle. Need to have 11 men on the pitch or Pompey will have no chance.
This is West Brom's best start to a season since 21-22. They also won match 5 in the Championship that season. 1-0 they lead at Portsmouth already, but a long way still to go. Now 2 clean sheets in 12 league matches for Pompey, going back towards the end of last season. They've got the ball in the left back position, and the bald-headed Ogilvie with the beard will come across to take it. Former Tottenham youth team player Conor Ogilvie on the near side touchline, long throw, hoisted over the halfway line, towering header away by Semi Ajayi. He'll eat those up all day long. Now the ball is with Dazelle inside the centre circle. Little touch onto Paddy Lane. Good ball to the feet of Sadie, who nearly threaded it through the middle into the feet of Callum Lang. Good interception by Malumbi for West Brom, and then there's a foul as Mowat is tripped, and that's a West Brom free kick midway inside their own half the field. I have to say, from a Portsmouth perspective, 10.5 minutes in, it's actually been a very good response to going a goal down inside the first minute.
Yes, well, the first goal, and then they had another chance, West Brom, didn't they? But since then, it's been a very good response, and that's what I'm sure John Messina would have been working on as well. Not just Sadie going in behind, but sometimes just dropping off and Callum Lang running in behind, and he was very nearly in there.
So West Brom at top of the Championship as it stands. High, long diagonal ball by Bartley is way overhit, and it's going to go out of play for a goal kick to Portsmouth at the Milton end, and that end is part split between home and away supporters. 2,000 baggies have made the trip down the motorway. West Bromwich Albion supporters, and lots of them clapping and cheering behind the goal. They're almost all on their feet. It's a great away day, Portsmouth, as Jordan Williams sends a long high ball downfield. But it wasn't a great away day last season, I suppose, because Portsmouth was so dominant, home and away, in winning the League One title. Today, they're looking for their first victory at Championship level in more than 12 years. Here is Tom McIntyre, only his second appearance in a Portsmouth shirt. Had horrible luck with injuries since joining the club in February.
And you talk about luck, I think Pompey have been very unlucky with the fixture list that they've had. The first 4 games, Leeds, Luton, Middlesbrough, Sunderland, West Brom today, Burnley, Sheffield United. So the first 7 games, there's 3 teams who were at the Premier League last season, a playoff finalist, a semi-finalist, and a team that's top of the table. I mean, how unlucky can you be?
Well, you get them out of the way early on, I guess.
Well, yeah, as long
you
as
don't want to be
adrift. As long as your confidence is not shot and you don't feel that, okay, that you are cut adrift, 1 in terms of points, but also 2 that you're not good enough at this level.
Well, they have only lost once this season, drawn 3 of their first 4 league matches, although they were arguably outplayed in a couple of those and were perhaps fortunate to come away with the point. You think about the Leeds draw in particular.
Yeah, look, but you'd expect that. So to be fair to them, they've done really well to not lose those games. As I say, if you can't win them, just make sure you pick up points and not lose. If you have consecutive losses and 3, 4, 5 on the spin, then that starts to get you, no matter who you're playing. But the fact that they Okay, they haven't won, but they've only lost that one game. I think they're doing okay.
Well, there's a miscue at the back by Hegem, who's gone down. Swanson kept his feet right on the edge of the penalty area. Now delivers the cross. Lang went for it, threw himself at it. Brilliant defensive header from the fullback Darnell Furlong, who is very good in the air. A threat going forward often for West Brom, but that was a spectacular clearing header, Scott Minto.
Very brave when that ball's kind of whipped in, but also seemingly hanging. And he's got to come across and leave his man and really put his head there. Brilliant header from Furlong.
Back it goes to Ogilvie. First time left-footed cross. Lang is there at the near post, and it's turned away by Bartley. Inside the 6-yard box, and West Brom are suddenly under what feels like real pressure. Portsmouth seek an equaliser. Josh Murphy dribbles to the dead ball line. Deflection on the cross, it came off Malumbi. Then at the second attempt, it's turned behind by Furlong. It's another Portsmouth corner, and would you believe it, with the pattern of play at the moment, a Portsmouth equaliser feels like it might not be far away.
Absolutely, and what a fantastic ball from Ogilvie there, the way he whipped it in. Wonder of a left foot, and brilliant defending in the end from Carl Bartley.
The player Pompey sing the Portsmouth fans at the Fratton end of the ground. Thousands on their feet behind the goal. Pack with the corner, right-footed underneath the crossbar, headed away by Ajayi. Lang hits it on the volley through a crowd. It's cleared only as far as the edge of the penalty area. Jordan Williams with a curling shot, and that's going to loop over the top from the centre half, the number 2, and out of play for a goal kick to West Brom, and that West Brom back line can breathe a sigh of relief for a few moments. We've got more live football from the EFL for you tomorrow night. What a game in League One at St Andrews. Birmingham against Wrexham. Two teams with two of the highest profile sets of American owners you'll find anywhere in the game. And then next week we've also got the return of the Champions League and the League Cup again for you this coming week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Oh, Pax won it back inside the penalty area, has he? Not quite. West Brom looking to play the ball out of the back from inside their own 18-yard box, and they're under real pressure. Too much pressure to try and deal with at the moment as Portsmouth win a throw down by the corner flag, and that high press approach, we saw it from Pompey in League One last season. John Mousinho says he wants to see it in the Championship this season as well, and it's worked for them there, Scott.
Absolutely. I mean, Alex Palmer should be reading that situation and just going longer. We saw it yesterday with Manchester City. Edison quite happy to go long. Okay, yes, they have got Erling Haaland, but still, you play it when it's on.
1-0 West Brom, the long throw into the penalty area, falls towards Lang, down by the penalty spot. Sadie, can he spin and shoot? He does, it's blocked. There were just enough yellow and blue shirts back behind the ball there for West Bromwich Albion, who are under dramatic pressure now. 15 minutes gone, 1-0 down. Paddy Lane's delivery, well taken by Palmer, the goalkeeper high above his head. Relentless pace and energy to these early exchanges. Portsmouth 0, West Bromwich Albion 1, but it's this sort of high tempo, high octane football which is exactly why we love the EFL on the TalkSport network.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know what John Mousinho was saying is we played that high press, high intensity, and once you start winning games you can do that.
And they've won it back again. It's Callum Lang through the middle, straight from the goal kick. It's deflected wide. West Bromwich Albion almost gifting Portsmouth an equaliser. Bartley screaming at the rest of the back line. Identical situation to just a few moments ago. They gave the ball away from their own goal kick, and Callum Lang's effort somehow, via a deflection, stays out. A Portsmouth equaliser looks all but inevitable at this point.
I'm sorry, but
corner's taken short to Dazelle to whip one in high left-footed to the back post. Headed away, an aerial bombardment again for West Brom to deal with there. Amazing situation in the game. We're in the 17th minute of the match. It feels like we're in minute 87, Scott.
Well, I mean, you and I were at a game last night where it started really fast. I actually think this game started faster. You can see that Portsmouth stung in the first and stunned in the first few minutes over that goal, but since then it's been all Pompey.
Long throw by Pack into the box. McIntyre is climbing. It's headed away by Bartley, and then the miss kick on the dead ball line by Grant. He's got very lucky, Carlin Grant. It stayed in play. He's given it away to Pack. Pack's cross is headed away by Swift. It's all Portsmouth since the West Brom opener. They've been camped on the edge of the West Bromwich Albion penalty area from right to left here. And now the assistant referee has spotted an offside against Pack, and that'll be a free kick to West Brom. Furlong's gone down, and West Brom can, you would think, try try and slow the game down here, but I'm sure Alex Palmer is going to take no chances. I'm sure, finally, he's going to go long from this free kick, Scott Minto.
Well, yes, and to be fair to the referee, Lee Doughty, he's seen Darnell Furlong go down. He's gone over to him. He said, I'm playing on. Darnell Furlong's got up straight away, so I don't know if Furlong's been given a little look from Carlos Corberán, or they've been told, whenever we're a little bit under pressure, try and kill a bit of time by going down. But the referee having none of it, and that is very good refereeing.
Portsmouth 0, West Bromwich Albion 1. I don't think you'll see a much more dramatic opening to a game in the Championship this season. Josh Madger from the edge of the D for West Brom, poking into the penalty area for Fellows. Back to Madger, trying to place it. That's blocked by McIntyre. Cleared away by Swanson, not very far. Swift seizes upon it, works the ball left to the far side, and granted in, swinging cross, headed away by McIntyre again. And now Lang, number 49, hooks the ball over his shoulder. Again, no great distance on the clearance. Mowatt's glancing touch. Too heavy for Malumbi. Portsmouth have it back, and here is Murphy. Early ball over halfway. Flag has stayed down against Sadie as he looked to reach it up the inside left channel, but there was too much on the pass from Josh Murphy, who was the hero for Oxford in the League One playoff final at Wembley last season before making the move to Portsmouth this summer. And the ball is back with the West Bromwich Albion goalkeeper Alex Palmer. It's almost as though, Scott, Portsmouth needed the goal after 55 seconds to wake them up.
Well, yeah, I mean,
they've certainly woken up since.
Absolutely, I think it's a reaction, whether they need it or not. It wasn't as if it had going on for 10 minutes and they'd been really poor. It was just within that first minute. It's like, wow. And then they conceded another chance, didn't they? Or Tom Fellows looked like he was looking to get in and shot just wide. Since then, the reaction has been brilliant. I think that's what the fans want to see. They can take losing against a side that's going for automatic promotion, certainly for top six. What they can't take is just sitting back and being very meek about it.
Well, they're certainly not sitting back. Only failed to score in one of their last 13 league games coming into this afternoon, though that was this season against the 10 men of Luton Town. 20 minutes played here. Portsmouth with the goal down to West Brom, who, as it stands, would go top of the Championship with 4 wins from 5 in the league to start the season. Long diagonal ball, pumped downfield by Jordan Williams, and a good back header by Furlong into the gloves of Palmer. He's got to be one of the best full-backs in this division, and you would know as a man who played in that position.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously the other side, but definitely being a full-back, that cross-field ball coming in, and you know there's 2 players behind you. You know, what do? Do you head it out for a corner, or do you actually go for the high tariff and head it back to the keeper where you know it needs to be absolutely spot on? But it shows the confidence and the quality of Furlong that he made the more difficult decision, but he made that look easy.
Still goalless in the North London derby. Sam Matterface has all of the very latest for you on the Sunday session over on Talk Sport. Make sure you download our app to be across all of that. Callum Lang for Christian Sadie, edge of the penalty area for Portsmouth. His pass square is intercepted by Malumbi, and it's rattled back to the feet of his goalkeeper by Ajayi. Palmer then thunders the clearance long, high up into the bright blue sky. A poor header away by Williams. Mowat has threaded it down the left to Grant. West Brom on the counter with Madger in the middle. Grant running at the defender and shoots, and it's a right-footed effort that takes a deflection to send it over the top for a corner. It may well have been Swanson, the defender, who got the touch on it. I don't think the touch came from the goalkeeper.
No.
Either way, West Brom have a corner, leading by a goal to 0.
No, and since the goal has been all Portsmouth, but they just need to be careful. We know Tom Fellows on one side, Carlin Grant on the other. Got a lot of quality, certainly at this level, and as he came inside, you're thinking, don't let him allow to do that on his best foot. Opens up the goal, and in the end it was good defending, getting the deflection.
Old-fashioned feel to the main stand here at Portsmouth. Lots of pillars in the way. Corner taken short by Mowat. Gets it back from Josh Madger. Plays the ball to the edge of the box, and it's hit by Swift over the top on the half volley. Good touch initially to drag it away from the onrushing Lang, and then Swift tried to size up the shot, but it sails over the bar and into the sea of West Brom fans in their multicoloured shirts. Lots of the traditional home colours of West Bromwich Albion, the dark blue and white, plus the away kit that they're wearing today. All behind that goal. Again, Portsmouth were a little slow to react to the corner being taken short, I think.
Yeah, they were. But then, because there was 2 or 3 passes, in the end, one player did get tight. It's a great bit of skill from John Swift, just dinking it over him. And didn't quite have the technique on the half volley to keep it on target.
And Mowat now driving over the halfway line into a pocket of space and steering the ball square to Swift, who's tripped from behind by Lane. Free kick taken quickly by Malumbi. Good refereeing to allow that to happen. Grant in the left wing position looking dangerous. Swanson backing off. Grant chips in the cross. It deflects off Swanson and then off Grant. Good defending by the former Arsenal youngster, and it's out of play for a goal kick to Portsmouth away to the right hand side. Portsmouth 0, West Bromwich Albion 1. Well, what a breathless first quarter of the game, Scott. We were at Bournemouth Chelsea last night, and in terms of that intensity, we've sort of picked up where it left off.
I think you can argue it's a higher intensity here. You can see, because the home side have conceded that early goal, they've really gone at West Brom. And then, apart from the goal, which obviously is the most important thing, Portsmouth have been the team of the game we've had so far. They've been very much on the front foot, but that is because West Brom are playing away from home. They've got that early goal, and Portsmouth just need to be careful about that second goal on the counter-attack, because if the second goal comes in, it's going to be very difficult for them to get anything out of this game.
Well, the good news was over the international break they could work on a number of things on and off the ball, said John Messina, and they got some key players back from injury. Almost feels like the season starts today for Portsmouth, but they are 1-0 down this afternoon to West Brom. Lang back to the centre circle, and McIntyre with the square ball to his central defensive colleague Williams.
They might say it starts after the Sheffield United game.
Maybe. Well, that can be problematic, right? Because everybody talks about the table being shaped after about the first 10 games of any season. Is that how you always experienced it?
Yeah, kind of. But I think the fact that the first 7 games are so difficult. If you look at the October fixtures, they're the winnable games. But again, I'll go back to the fact that they've only lost that one match, so they've done well there.
Lovely ball by Pack towards the far side. He can really pick past. Swanson to beat to it by Hagham, and actually I think he might have hurt Hagham. We can follow it through. Hagham gets to his feet.
Yeah, just got to make sure that they're not adrift by those games.
Marlon tackles off down the goalkeeper. Got something in the last 4-1 in the North London derby. Gabriella scored. Against the run of players with a fiery North London derby so far, but it's Arsenal with all of the injury concerns in the middle that takes the lead. We've got coverage continuing over on TalkSport right now. Sunday session. Arsenal lead by a goal to nil against Tottenham into the second half of the North London derby. Make sure you download our app. It's free, easy to download. You can swipe between both stations at your leisure. That'll be particularly important when the Champions League returns next week. As Furlong crosses, cleared away to Madger. Madger's snapshot is blocked. It was a terrible clearance by Swanson. Should have been routine. Instead, he only knocked the ball forward about 2 yards to the feet of Madger, whose left-footed effort was turned away before it could really test Norris in goal.
Well, it's a great ball in from Furlong, you have to say. He's pinged that in first time across goal, and it's gone to the other side, the right back. And one thing, again, as a fullback, you've got to have real care when you're trying to clear the ball with your wrong foot. When I go back, my dad always says no footballer should have a wrong foot, but you do.
Well, you're right, I think, really.
Well, he's right, but you do, and it was a really poor clearance. And Madger, the form he's in and been in so far this season and today with that early finish, and in the end, he's got to try and find a gap between himself and the defenders and test the keeper.
That's the voice of the left-footed Scott Minto, alongside me in the commentary position here.
Both-footed Scott Minto.
Both-footed.
No, always left, yeah.
A free kick to West Brom, midway inside the Portsmouth half. Slightly right of centre, not much of an angle for Swift to work with here, but with his prowess on dead balls, it's always possible, and they have sent Ajayi and Bartley forward for this. It's dinked over the top by Swift to the back post, and Bartley was there waiting. Good header away by the Portsmouth captain Pack. The ball has dropped out to the West Brom left. Malumbi with the red boots on, reverse ball into the penalty area. Goalkeeper didn't get there quite initially, juggled the ball did Norris, but then able to claim at the second attempt above Ajayi, who when he jumps very high indeed. Swanson now goes back to the Portsmouth goalkeeper Norris again. Named in the League One team of the season last year, unsurprisingly, with the 19 clean sheets that he picked up. A great season for Portsmouth last year, and I think the sense is the Championship is the sort of least point in the divisions where they want to be. They want, of course, ultimately to go one further and get back in the Premier League one day. And first things first, though. Still looking for a first victory of the season in League and Cup, and they trail at home to unbeaten West Brom by a goal to nil. Palmer's measured clearance out to the left for West Brom, and then Swanson beat Hegem in the air. Swanson, I think, collided with the advertising hoardings. The Portsmouth fans want the game stopped. The referee says play on, and Fellows has been put clear on goal. Left-footed, smashes it wide. Portsmouth are furious with the referee on the pitch and in the dugout.
Well, the referee, when he's off the pitch, the referee's got to play on there. Can't quite see whether it is a head injury. It doesn't look like it. Looks like he's just sort of fallen over and then into the boardings. And I think that's the right decision. I mean, quite clearly we're here at Fratton Park as a very partisan crowd, and they're going to complain that it should have been stopped. And that was a decent chance of Fellows on his left foot. Found himself on the inside left. The angle was tight. Again, when you're in that position, you've got to make sure you hit the target. He didn't.
Well, Will Norris has been yellow carded for his protests, dissent to the referee, and Swanson is still lying down on the far side, off the pitch, right by the advertising hoardings. The physios have run across around the edges of the field of play to go and treat him. And the Portsmouth fans are furious with Lee Doughty, the referee. Swanson now being treated, but I guess the point that maybe Portsmouth are making is, could it have, if it had been a serious injury? But I know what you mean, Scott. If it's not serious, then I don't think the referee did anything wrong with that decision there.
No, and you're only really talking seconds, not even double-digit seconds, from actually when he fell over to when the shot came, and then the referee can say, OK, start getting some treatment.
Well, it was an aerial challenge, Swanson and Hegem, and no blame attached to the West Brom man, but Swanson is still being treated by the two physios a long way from our commentary position on the far side of the field. Right now, both sets of players have come across to the near side touchline. Portsmouth and West Brom. And take on water, take on instructions. Carlos Corberán is down there, very energetic with his gesticulating as ever, very demonstrative. The Spaniard, who was appointed in October of 2022. At that stage, West Brom were second bottom in the league, but he's made his best start to a championship season. And will it be third time lucky, I wonder, Scott, because he's had near misses, hasn't he, in the playoffs last season, the semi-final with West Brom. They reached the final when he was at Huddersfield, lost to Nottingham Forest. It feels like he's a man who, as I think you alluded to, actually will end up managing in the Premier League, whether it's with West Brom or somebody else eventually.
Yeah, I mean, look, the most important thing for the club is they've actually got owners that care about the club. And that's what they've got. Then the next thing is, OK, what kind of help can you give the manager in terms of recruitment? Because I do believe Carlos Corberán is a future Premier League manager. And I think he's loving his time at West Brom. He wants to try and get the club up. You know, very nearly did it last season, but I think, as the table would suggest, you know, they weren't one of the very best teams. So it's probably about right finishing in the playoffs, but not going up. But yeah, he's a top class manager.
Well, Swanson is back on his feet, the Portsmouth right back, far side of the field after that long passage of treatment. They did have to send the physio on for Will Norris, the goalkeeper, as well. Not sure whether that was a touch of cramp, maybe a leg problem, a muscle problem. You wouldn't expect cramp at this stage in the game.
My goodness, but cramp at this stage for a goalkeeper.
Norris, yeah, not sure what that was. But anyway, he's back on his feet and he's ready to restart the game. Portsmouth will be down to 10 men for just a few moments. Portsmouth 0, West Brom 1. Live and exclusive to National Radio on TalkSport 2. Clearance by Norris is going to slice towards the near side, kept in play by Ogilvie, hooked over the top by Malumbi, down the inside right channel for West Brom, header away by McIntyre, didn't get it particularly far. Fellows is tripped, play goes on, says the referee. Swanson, the right back for Portsmouth, has he come back onto the field for Portsmouth yet? I don't think he has. Meanwhile, play goes on with Sadie. They're calling for him to come back on. Portsmouth have got the ball with Lang. He steered it wide to Lane. Caught on the penalty area. Left-footed curler. That's blocked. Comes back to Lane on his right foot. Turned behind for a corner. Now Swanson comes back on a little bit gingerly. Portsmouth restored to their full complement of 11. 1-0 down to West Brom after 32 minutes. And again, I can understand the complaints from John Mousinho there. He should have been allowed back on before that.
Absolutely. There can be communication between the officials as well, so just let him come on. He's been out the game for a good few minutes. But Pompey again, another opportunity of a set piece and trying to equalise.
Fifth corner, Dazelle with it, left-footed and in, swinging in towards Williams, headed away by Ajayi. West Brom are getting the better of Portsmouth in terms of the set-piece battle so far as well. But Portsmouth continue to dominate possession and territory, playing from right to left in the first half. Those royal blue shirts, Swanson dinks the ball long, and it's gathered by Palmer, who clearly had a big call to his two centre-halves to leave it.
It's too straight. It's too straight. If you're going to play that long ball, it's got to be more diagonal so the keeper can't come out. And I think even if you're playing a long diagonal with these two centre-halves, Bartley and Ajayi, that's what they want. You've got to try and, if you're going to go long, just sort of drop it short in front of them so they've got to foul the forward.
Darnell Furlong's got forward again for West Brom. He's down by the corner of the penalty area, near side the right, a cross that is whipped in with the inside of his foot, headed away by the first man, Ogilvie. It'll go out to play for a throw. Still Tottenham 0, Arsenal 1 in the North London derby. Gabriel with the only goal so far. Wolves against Newcastle underway at 4:30. And we'll keep you up to date with the early stages of that here on TalkSport 2, and TalkSport and Sam Matterface with the Sunday session will do likewise. Now then, there's a throw on the near side which Furlong will take, close to where the Portsmouth fans at the Milton End are sitting. A few rows of safe standing there as well. Milton End to our right. Long throw by Furlong into the box towards Ajayi. It'll bounce to the far post. Madger denied by the goalkeeper. Did it cross the line? Referee says no. What a save by Norris. Absolute point blank. Crossed by Mowat. Headed away by Ogilvie this time. Well, that's one of the saves of the championship season from Norris.
Brilliant save. I'm not going to go as far as to say it was Gordon Banks, but it was one of those where he's certainly a lot closer than Pele was back in 1970. And the way he was able to just dive and get a really strong hand. Obviously, in terms of goal line technology, I'd love to know whether it went over where I'm sitting now. I'm not 100% sure, but it's a wonderful save, and the referee's assistant said no, it's not going to count.
Well, the Portsmouth fans are fuming with the referee again, and there's a yellow card out of the pocket of the referee too. I think for Pack, the captain, for complaining rather than the challenge from Murphy initially. But what an opportunity for Josh Madger just a few moments ago to double the advantage, and almost from on the goal line Norris makes the save, and the ball must have stayed out by the tiniest of margins. We're watching a replay on the monitor in the commentary position here, and almost all of the ball was over the line. Only a tiny slither managed to stay out. What a save by Norris, and I think he tipped it onto the post, but that was literally, Scott, a couple of inches away from being 2-0.
I think a couple of millimetres away, certainly centimetres. And yeah, he didn't have to quite dive like Gordon Banks, but still, it was a wonderful reflex save.
You can't be saying that was one for the cameras, sure.
No, not at all. But he didn't have to dive in the way that...
No, it wasn't quite a stretch, was it?
But still, the reaction was brilliant, and the bigger picture is kept Pompey in the game. I mean, it wouldn't be justified for Portsmouth to be 2-0 down, but you know, football can be a cruel game, and Madger, well, he's had a couple of chances now, plus the goal. He could be on a hat-trick. That's a wonderful save from Will Norris, and he's kept his team in it.
Just to be clear, it wasn't Pack who was booked a few moments ago. It was Murphy for the challenge, and then presumably the complaints that followed. Portsmouth 0, West Bromwich Albion 1. A highly charged atmosphere now at Fratton Park. We've had 36 minutes. West Brom coming forward with Malumbi. Wide to the near side, the right, and Fellows, who's driving in field from the near side touchline. Ogilvie backing off, step over some Fellows. Dinks in the cross, header over the top. Should have gone in from Grant. 6 yards out. He's got to get it on target, and if he does, it is probably 2. It's another huge chance missed for West Brom.
And it would have been another assist for Fellows as well. And I think he knows in a one-on-one situation, he has got Ogilvie, who's got a great left foot, but in terms of defending one-on-one against this incredibly talented young kid, he's finding it very difficult. Little step over on his right, he can cross with his right foot, great ball, and you're spot on. He has to hit the target, Carlan Grant.
And Carlan Grant, who spent last season on loan at Cardiff City but has come back into the fold at West Brom this time around. Madger's surely offside with his back to goal, and Swift has curled one wide, but the flag did go up against Madger, that checkered yellow and orange flag, and ironic cheers from the Portsmouth fans here in the main stand. John Massinho, the head coach, first managerial role arms outstretched, and he's speaking to the fourth official again. What a season it was last year for him, his first full season in management, and winning the League One title with Portsmouth, the League One Manager of the Year award as well. Sadie on the edge of the D for Portsmouth, hooks the ball high into the air. It's a clumsy pass, and then Swanson can't make anything of the second ball, adjudged to have fouled Hegan, and that's a free kick to West Brom.
Yeah, just backing in there, Sadie, wasn't he? There was a foul. It's difficult for forwards when they've got big defenders, and they are pretty much all big defenders, the back four. Certainly 3 of the 4. Hagem's come in. Sadie knows he's got to try and be strong, but he's backed in a bit too much there.
6'2" Hagen, Tor Bjorn Hagen, who was another summer signing at West Brom. There were quite a few changes over the course of the transfer window, some familiar and regular starters leaving the club over the summer. Foul on Murphy by Furlong, and they're on their feet, the Portsmouth fans,
Gabriel
all around the stadium to cheer that.
Brilliant.
They really do get
Arsenal,
involved, every
and there
decision
you go.
contested, and it's part of what makes the
64th minute.
atmosphere here so good.
Absolutely. You know, it's an old school stadium, and I think if they went even higher, they could probably double this attendance. They create some passion, these fans here.
Murphy, corner of the penalty area near side, left-hand channel for Portsmouth. He's had to step on the ball, then he shuffles to the left-hand side, tries to whip in the cross. It's blocked by Furlong. Good defending by Furlong, jockeying Murphy all the way. Portsmouth win their 6th corner, but they can't find the goal. Taken short quickly by Murphy to Pack. Back out wide to Murphy again. Takes a touch, crosses in low. Turned behind by Furlong once more. And West Brom have got to do a little more, perhaps, in terms of preventing these set pieces. Though it's remarkable to say it, but West Brom could be 3-0 up with the chances they've had.
Absolutely. You know, and they could be. And they look the most dangerous. And yet it's Portsmouth who are trying their hardest and trying to break this West Brom side down. But a really strong back four. 6
minutes of the first half remaining. Corner in by Pack, headed away by a combination of Furlong and Ajayi. It looked like at the near post, hammered clear by Grant up towards halfway. Swanson with the header to the bouncing ball, and it'll drop down towards the tall and rangy Lang in that number 10 role. Wide to Lane, right hand edge of the penalty area. Hegem backing off a little bit here, but Hegem does well to block the initial cross. It's gone back to Swanson. Swanson whips it in left-footed, headed away. Thumping header clear by Ajayi once more. He's been the dominant presence in the air in this game so far. West Brom lead by a 1-0, but a lot has happened since that first minute opener for Madger. And Portsmouth have had enough of the possession and territory to suggest that they're more than capable of coming back in this game. And that said, John Mousinho, I'm sure, will feel that they have been too vulnerable defensively at times as well. Sadie trying to outmuscle Heggen on the right-hand side, the far side channel for Portsmouth. He's won a throw, almost in between the north stand and the Fratton end. It's right by the corner flag. Pompey fans find their voices again.
Yeah, it's interesting. The stats say it's pretty much 50-50 possession, 7-8. So West Brom having one more goal attempts, but Portsmouth haven't had a shot on target yet. That's what they need to do next.
It might arrive soon, because Pack's going to take a long throw. Where is he? It's level with the edge of the 6-yard box. He takes a couple of steps back and now hurls the ball long into the penalty area. Ogilvie goes up for it, headed away to Dazelle. Edge of the box now, Sadie back to goal. West Brom with all of those players in yellow and blue back behind the ball. Pack, right wing position, teases it back to Murphy. Murphy left-footed from 30 yards, and the shot is blocked really by one of the first players, Heggen. Headed it away. Now Lane, Murphy switch wings out to the left, pokes it down towards the run of Jordan Williams, the centre half. Covering is Furlong, but Furlong's touch for once is poor. He's inadvertently knocked it straight out of play. Corner number 8 coming up for Portsmouth here on TalkSport 2.
I was just about to say, Darnell Furlong, such a good defender. He read that ball inside, and then as he tried to kick it away, it's ended up going for another corner. Now, look, Portsmouth are giving their all, but they have to find a way to try and break down this West Brom side. Lots of set pieces, lots of corners, but the ball in had just been headed away pretty easily so far.
Murphy's corner taken short to Pack. Ogilvie slipped in the penalty area. Now Lang from 25 yards, a low shot turned away. Only as far as Dazelle. Portsmouth keep the move going. Blue shirts lurking in the penalty area. Josh Murphy twisting one way and then the other, trying to tease beyond fellows. Left-footed cross cleared by Furlong at the near post. On the volley, high up into the air. The sun has Gone behind the clouds a little bit now. It's a bit more overcast up ahead on the south coast. Header out of play by Swanson. West Brom throw on the halfway line. They lead 1-0.
That was better though. It wasn't just a simple set piece in, and you got 6'5" defenders heading it out. It was a let's play it wide, a few little 1-2s, create a possibility of getting a good cross in as a little bit closer to the goal. But still, it was good defending from the Baggies.
It's been a tough assignment for the fourth official, Sam Allison, so far today. John Mousinho in his ear again. Long throw downfield by Furlong for West Brom, half-headed away by Pack, and then a cushion header downwards by Malumbi on the halfway line. Portsmouth have it back. Lang turns away from Ajayi, fouled by Ajayi right in front of the referee, edge of the centre circle, yellow card for Ajayi.
Well, he's pulled him back, and Ajayi's just kind of run off as if, like, could tell it was a professional foul. The referee, Lee Doughty, not having that at all. You can't criticise Pompey at all for effort. They're giving it absolutely everything. They've just got to try and find a way now in that final third, that how they can open up this West Brom defence.
Less than 2 minutes of normal time remaining at the end of the first half. And delivery from Dazelle, left-footed, is headed away by Hegem, comes back to Lang, hit it first time, deflects through to Swanson, angle tight back across, Sadie couldn't bundle it in. Somehow, maybe he was out-muscled on the goal line by Bartley and Furlong. Now it's Murphy's right-footed cross, still won't go in for Portsmouth, and Palmer able to collect the West Brom goalkeeper high above his head. Sadie was right in front of the goal, he almost had it at his mercy, but I think Bartley and Furlong did just enough between them to shrug him aside and stop him from getting contact and making it 1-1.
Well, he's gone a little bit behind him, but again, that's the way to do it in terms of get the ball out wide, try and cross it in, win the knockdowns. And Swanson in a really good position. We've seen him be in that position 2 or 3 times in this first half. It's a really good cut back, but Sadie's just gone a little bit past the ball.
Well, Portsmouth getting closer and closer without really testing Will Norris, and you're right, as Scott, we see it again on the monitor in front of us in the commentary position, and the crosses are more behind Sadie than it initially appeared to be. Last 30 seconds of normal time. What a first half. It's the kind of half of football you just don't want to end.
It's been very good. It's a typical Championship EFL game. 2 teams really going at it. The only surprise is just the 1 goal.
Some good football from both sides as well. But it's West Brom who lead, and West Brom are going top as it stands. Pack with a reverse ball, high down the middle. Swanson collects it beautifully. Oh, and he was dispossessed by Hegem at the last. He took it down expertly on his right foot, did Zach Swanson. Then looked to jink inside. Hegem there to sweep it behind for corner number 9.
He's making great runs down that right-hand side, off the ball. And Paddy Lane's just coming inside. He's trying to get in behind Hegem, and very nearly did. Really good first touch. Brings it inside, but he's just off balance. But again, it's yet another corner for Portsmouth. What can they do? It'd be so, psychological difference if they can find a way of getting a goal here just before half-time.
4 minutes of added time. Goalkeeper punches the corner from Dazelle away towards the left edge of the penalty area as we look at it now. McIntyre hooks it back in. Header away by Bartley. Drops down to Lang. Lang 5 yards from the corner of the penalty area. He's put it wide to McIntyre. Back infield to Lang, who couldn't control it. Didn't really want it there. Backpedaling into the penalty area. Didn't have the opportunity or the time to bring it under his control. Nearly a minute of the 4 added played at the end of the first half. Dazelle steers the ball on the angle down the left to Ogilvie. Won't see much of Ogilvie forward in this first half. Early ball up the inside left channel towards the edge of the penalty area. Good pressure by Sadie on Malumbi, and the Irish international has to smuggle it out of play for a throw, which is right by the corner flag. Portsmouth playing from right to left, and again they've got the support of the crowd right behind them.
Yeah, they certainly have. It's actually really good defending from Malumbi, protecting his back four there.
Pack with the long throw into the 6-yard box, headed away by Bartley. Too much loop on that, easier for Bartley to head clear. Pack is going to try and let this go behind for a corner, and that's what the referee signalled, into double figures for corners in this first half. Portsmouth. Pack short again, this time to Murphy. Level with the edge of the box, teasing down the left. Across comes off the back of Malumbi. It's one back by Murphy once more. Seen a lot of the ball on his Portsmouth debut. Now Pack, reverse pass down into the penalty area. Doesn't reach Lang, cleared away by Furlong. West Brom defending their own 18-yard box, everybody back behind the ball. Dazell's left-footed delivery, Ogilvie with a thumping header over the top. Well, they have created plenty of half chances, but they haven't had enough on-target, Portsmouth, in this game. That's maybe partly why they're 1-0 down.
No, and look, you've got to give credit to West Brom for that. We're giving credit Portsmouth for really going at it and having great reaction after going down 1-0 so early on in this first half. You've got to give credit to West Brom the way they've defended. Any crosses that are coming in sort of 40, 50 yards away. So therefore it gives their defenders, 6'5" defenders, the chance to head it. And Ogilvie, for him to get above the centre halves there and try and beat Alex Palmer from 12 yards out almost, that would have been some header.
90 seconds of the first half to go.
Needed Mark Haley to be back in there to score that one.
He's here, isn't he? As the referee stopped the game again, as a Portsmouth player who's gone down in front of us, he's going to need to receive some treatment here. And I think it is Ogilvie who's gone to ground, lying on his back. A couple of the Pompey physios now helping out with treatment. Will John Mousinho be pleased in terms of the overall performance, other than that opening minute?
Absolutely. I think he'd be really very impressed with his team and proud of his team, the way they've come back from 1-0 down after less than a minute. It's showing they've got character, and they're going to need that from here to right to the end of the season. The question is have they got enough quality to open up this West Brom defence? And it's not just the back four and Alex Palmer as well. It's Malumbi and Alex Mowat who are very good players, just sitting in front and protecting, which means they're not quite able to get to the byline and cross from dangerous positions. I have to say, Zach Swanson has got himself into really good positions at times, but still haven't been able to produce enough quality attempts at goal. There's still no shots on target at the moment.
And it's a strange thing to say, isn't it, Scott? But from a West Brom perspective, they've been under so much pressure for large periods of this first half, yet they could have scored 3 goals. They probably should have scored at least 2.
Yeah, Josh Magic could have had a hat-trick. Carlon Grant had that header over. Tom Fellows had a chance that he didn't quite hit the target. I do think they looked the most dangerous on the attack, but in terms of who's played the better, you could definitely argue Portsmouth have been better, but ultimately it's down to the scoreline, and getting that early goal meant that West Brom have been able to kind of just sit in there, just try and be aware and protect the back four. They can't afford to do that for the whole game though. There's every chance they might well need that second goal. If they sit back at 1-0, then you would think that Portsmouth will create 1, 2, maybe 3 chances in the second half. If they put one of them away, then West Brom don't come away with 3 points and don't go top.
Well, for the first time in the game, the atmosphere is quietened a little bit, as Ogilvie's still treated in front of the main stand, and he's looking to try and sit up here, I think, the left back. Yep, there we go. And Pompey physio either side of him. Portsmouth 0, West Brom 1. The wind picks up a little bit here. Some of the fans have headed to the concourse areas ahead of half-time. We've got a live EFL for you tomorrow night. Birmingham against Wrexham, then the start of the Champions League. Young Boys against Aston Villa on TalkSport 2. Milan against Liverpool on TalkSport on Tuesday. Manchester City, Arsenal in action later in that week. And both of those matches will be live on TalkSport. Now 5.5 minutes officially the added time. Portsmouth temporarily down to 10 as they wait to get Ogilvie back onto the field. I think we've probably got about another minute or so left in terms of that added time. Ogilvie, well, they're not bandaging him up, they're just wiping maybe a little cut on the back of his head. Ogilvie still waits to come back on. Portsmouth still down to 10. And the ball is in the Portsmouth left-back position where Ogilvie would normally be. Swept away by Williams out of play. And that'll be a throw to West Brom as Ogilvie comes back on. The only amazing thing is that there's only been 1 goal in the game so far.
Absolutely. I think the game itself deserves more. But yeah, when he went down, there was only a minute to go, so I'd be surprised if after this long throw-in, the referee doesn't blow up for half-time.
He'll be taken by Furlong, very close to the to being in line with the edge of the penalty area. Here he comes with an angled run up long into the penalty area with the throw, headed away by a pack for Portsmouth, and that is the half-time whistle. And it's West Brom who lead by a goal to 0, and they are heading top of the Championship as it stands. But really the scoreline doesn't tell the full story of the match. West Brom took a very early lead after less than 55 seconds through Josh Madger. Since then, Portsmouth have had long spells where they've been dominant in possession and territory. They've created numerous half opportunities without seriously testing Alex Palmer in the West Bromwich Albion goal. And then at the other end, while West Brom have so fleetingly found themselves on the ball in the Portsmouth half with regularity when they have got in behind, they've had two further great chances. Madger somehow denied by Will Norris, the Portsmouth goalkeeper, from very close range, and Carlin Grant with a header from 6 yards over the bar. Portsmouth 0, West Brom 1, Scott Minto. In one way, it could be 3-3, it could be 3-1 or 3-2 either way. Been that sort of game so far, but thoroughly enjoyable.
Do you know, it has been a really strange game in the sense that, okay, Portsmouth conceded that early goal, but the way they've come back, and in terms of who do you think has played better as a team, I think that's probably down to Portsmouth. But in terms of clear-cut chances, you know, if West Brom were 3-0 up, if you look at the chances they've had, you would say that, yeah, that's probably about right, because the quality of chances that West Brom have had. Yes, they got that early goal. Josh Madger really should have, he's so close, he shouldn't have given Will Norris any chance at all to react so well and make that great save. Carlin Grant, you know, should have got it on target. You could argue Tom Fellows should have got it on target as well. So in terms of quality chances, West Brom, yeah, it could easily have been 3-0, but you know, that would be an absolute travesty for Portsmouth. They wouldn't have deserved that. They've just got to find a way. You know, they've had more possession, they've had more goal attempts, and yet they haven't had one shot on target in that first half. And John Massinho needs to find a way just to do that final piece to try and test Alex Palmer, because he hasn't been tested enough yet.
It has certainly been frenetic, hasn't it? And that's made for a great atmosphere and a great watch from a neutral's perspective. But for both head coaches, Carlos Corberán in particular, they've got to be thinking about taking the sting and that end-to-end nature out of the game. If you're West Brom, surely that's a priority.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, the second goal I do think kills the game, but until they get that second goal, Portsmouth are very much in it. And you look at, you know, Jason Malumbi and Alex Mowat. You know, yes, they've got quality defenders. I really like Darnell Furlong as a fullback in the Championship, and Shemi Ajayi and Cole Bartley are arguably one of, if not the best central defensive partnership in this division. And Hegem has come in and done really well and looks like he's already sort of fitting, even though he's more of a centre-back than a left-back, but he's playing really well, certainly from a defensive point of view. It's very difficult to break this team down, it really is, and that's why I think it's almost guaranteed they'll be top 6. The question is, can they get into those automatic promotion places? But at this moment in time,
So there you go, guys. Thanks for all the support for the first half. It was really quite good for West Brom. Already in the 25th second of the game, they had a throw-in and they got it in the goal. So West Brom, it is Portsmouth 0, West Brom 1, and they have done really well as well. So there is so many streams coming up. This all the way until January. That is a ridiculously amount of streams that you're going to get really excited for. There's going to be Away for Champions League streams. There's going to be some other streams that are going to be added on through the way. So you are going to have streams from here all the way until January, and then we'll have more streams from January all the way to the end of the season. So guys, thanks for all the support you are giving me today, and I'm really happy for it. But anyway, guys, it is now half time, so go and get yourself a drink, or go and do what you need to do, and there you go. So thank you all for tuning in for this point, and I will see you all in the second half. And the live commentary is going to be TalkSport, so I will not be talking until the end of the match. So guys, thanks for watching in this moment, and I will see you all in the second half. Bye for now. It is now Portsmouth 0, West Brom 1.
Palmer in goal, Furlong, Ajayi, Bartley and Hegem, Malombi and Mowat, Fellows, Swift and Grant behind the number 9, the goal scorer, Madger up front. 5 goals for the season now for West Brom's Josh Madger. Fit, fighting, and he's on the scoring sheet with regularity so far this season. He's plucked it out of the air beautifully, almost on the centre spot here. Madger, the former Sunderland and Bordeaux player, and he's won a free kick just inside the centre circle. Lee Doughty, the referee, was the target of the frustration of the Portsmouth fans, staff and players in the first half. Portsmouth have got to show a little bit more guile, though, in the final third if they're to get back into the game.
I thought he did well, Lee Doughty. I thought he made the big decisions pretty much spot on. Of course you're going to get a partisan crowd, and it's rightly so, complaining at certain decisions. It's what you want almost, but no, he was strong. I thought it was a very good first half. And a bit like last night when we were discussing about, Anthony Taylor, and he didn't want to make it about him. He made a lot of bookings, but didn't want to send anyone off when perhaps he could have done. But we've ended up talking about, the players have made a difference on the pitch, and that's what we've seen so far in this first half.
I know you're convinced I was baying for sendings off last night.
No, I was only joking.
The floodlights are on here at Fratton Park as Malombi's layoff down the right-hand side is cleared away by Ogilvie. Still plenty of spectators making their way back to their seats at this tight and compact ground.
He was, though.
Grand old ground, Fratton Park. Out on the left-hand side is Ogilvie in the left-back position. Long, high clearance downfield. Great control on the chest by Sadie. Evades Ajayi. Sweeps it wide to Lane. 3 against 3 here. Lane goes on the outside. Delivers the cross. A poor one. Gathered easily by Palmer. And that's symptomatic, I'm afraid, for Portsmouth of their attacking approach so far. There is just not that guile in the final third at the moment. That's partly why they're 1-0 down.
Absolutely. In terms of in between the boxes, they are a championship side, but the boxes are what decides matches at any levels, and just in that final third going forward haven't quite got the quality. And what I would say is it was really good defending from Hegem. He made sure that Lane wasn't able to come inside on his left foot where the goal opens up. It was down the right side on his right foot. The goal looked small. He's ended up having a shot. It was a simple save in the end. Good defending.
Tottenham 0, Arsenal 1, a full-time score from the Premier League this afternoon. Wolves against Newcastle at 4:30, Dundee United 0, Rangers 1, a full-time score from the Scottish Premiership. Sam Matterface is on air right now alongside us at Fratton Park on Talk Sport for the Sunday session, taking you around the grounds, and with focus starting to turn to that game at Molineux, which is underway in less than 20 minutes. Make sure you download the Talk Sport app, free and easy to download. You can swipe between both stations as and when you need to. Williams has got the ball for Portsmouth, and he's hacked it out of play. The centre-half signed in the summer from Barnsley. I can see Carlos Corberán applauding the West Brom press. Corberán in a light grey jumper. John Mousinho, the Portsmouth head coach, just to his left. West Brom with Swift going back to Ajayi under pressure, so turns and rolls it back to goalkeeper Palmer. Palmer's first-time pass to the right-back position, and Furlong. We had a bright sunshine earlier on the south coast. It's given way to a bit of cloud overhead now as Lang fouls Mowat. West Brom get a free kick in the tempo, I think. 5 minutes into the second half for West Brom, and the crowd are much quieter. This is just what they would want.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what Carlos Corberán would have said. A very partisan crowd that you need to keep quiet. In the first 5 minutes so far they have, but both managers dressed pretty well.
Hegem is away on the near side, the left for West Brom. He's checked back and played it to the corner of the penalty area. Swift to whip it in right-footed. It's a poor delivery, blocked by the back of Dazelle. Sliding in his Mert to win it back off Callum Lang. Now Grant, inside left channel. Hegem on the overlap. First time cross, great ball! Right across the face of goal, in between the goal line and the 6-yard line. Any touch from a player in yellow and blue would have sufficed, but West Brom couldn't get to it.
What a ball. Hegem, what is he? Must be 6'4".
Yep.
Centre half, playing at left back, but bombing on down the left hand side. Wand of a cross.
Oh, here's a chance for Mowat in the penalty area. Placed to perfection into the top corner from Alex Mowat, and that might just be enough to send West Brom clear at the top of the league table. Alex Mowat inside the penalty area, little bit tight for space around him, but he worked it onto his left foot, curled it majestically away from the goalkeeper into the the top corner, and is that Portsmouth beaten here this afternoon? Portsmouth 0, West Bromwich Albion 2. What a finish from Mowat.
Absolutely, that was a wonderful finish, it really was. And look, they had started well. It wasn't as if they were really trying to really press and really go for the second, but they were very much on the front foot. Clearly, Carlos Corbean said at half-time, look, we can't keep on playing like this. We are defending well. We just need to try and be a little bit more intense. And they have, and they got into that around the box area. The ball fell to Alex Murray. It's a wonderful strike. He's able to just drop a shoulder, come onto his left foot, and it's top corner, giving Will Norris no chance whatsoever. Definitely stepped it up in the second half. Shouldn't really be allowed that amount of space, but it wasn't a lot. It was only about a yard. But the fact that he was, and the ball was laid off to him first time, it's a wonderful goal in the top corner. And look, we talked about how Pompey have given it everything. They've got resilience, they've got character, but they perhaps haven't quite got that quality. Haven't yet had a shot on target. How are they going to get 2 goals?
And they're coming forward again, West Brom. Malumbi charging right up the middle. To the right he goes, and Fellows now. Let it run across his body on the corner of the box. Fellows holds up possession. West Brom lead by 2-0. They scored very early in the first half, and they've scored early in the second. It's a long way back for Portsmouth, you feel, from here. They last went without a win in their first 5 league games of the season in 2010-2011 when they were in the Championship. Grant, little flick to his left for West Brom, cleared away by Lane. I wonder how long John Messina will leave it now, the Portsmouth head coach, before he thinks about changes. Not happy with the challenge on Dezelle in the middle of midfield. A free kick to Portsmouth, but they have a lot of work to do to try and turn this match around. I'll remind you of the two sides substitutes. For Portsmouth, Schmid, the goalkeeper, Towler, Poole, Potts, Sørensen, Silvera, Kamara, Blair and Matt Ritchie. And for West Brom, the subs, Wildsmith, the goalkeeper, Holgate, Wallace, Diangana, Diakite, Dobbin, Racic, Johnston and Frabotta. And there are subs from both teams warming up along the near side touchline here in front of us in the main stand, but it's the West Brom fans, 2,000 strong, who are cheering with delight. They've got more winnable games to come ahead of them, at home to Portsmouth and away at Sheffield Wednesday in their next 2 fixtures. It has been a stirring start to the season if you're a baggy.
Do you know what, the fixtures have been slightly kind to West Brom, very unkind to Portsmouth, and I still think in terms of Portsmouth, with the first 7 games that they've got, mustn't be cut adrift. They mustn't lose that confidence and belief that they are worthy of being here in the Championship. I think by the end of October we can look at the table and see where Portsmouth are going to be, which, let's face it, we're always going to be in a bit of a relegation scrap.
Madger, edge of the box, left-footed drive, and that was dipping via a deflection, and over the top it goes for a West Brom corner. Portsmouth look a little bit shell-shocked after conceding that second goal. It's all West Brom, and Fratton Park has suddenly gone pretty flat here, Scott Minter.
It has, and one of the most passionate grounds in the country has gone very quiet, and you can understand that, and I think that's the same with the players as well. That second goal has just killed their self-belief, body language changing.
A corner from the near side from Swift, right-footed into the 6-yard box, punched away two-handed by Norris, back in by Bartley. It's going to loop onto the bar, but the referee had already blown for a free kick, a foul on the goalkeeper. And Mowat then nodded a loose ball into the net when he knew that the free kick had already been given. Meanwhile, Portsmouth straight into the action at the other end. Paddy Lane, right wing position, infield to Murphy. Murphy teases away from 2 in yellow and dark blue for West Brom. West Brom lead by 2-0 here on TalkSport 2. 10 minutes into the second half, over 20,000 at Fratton Park this afternoon, and the vast majority are going to go home disappointed unless there's a big change in the momentum of this game.
Yeah, the problem is he just hasn't got the quality on the bench, strength and depth. You know, this is his best 11 right now available to him, and yet not really laying a glove on West Brom. There's Elias Sorensen, of course, and Sami Silvera as well.
Here
Too
comes
many options.
Dazelle trying to start a Portsmouth charge. Threaded to the central position where Murphy's waiting with his back to goal. Back to Pack. Pack from the lip of the centre circle, wide to Ogilvie. Ogilvie with a good cross, headed away by Bartley in front of the West Brom fans. It's going to spiral away towards the far side. Fellows has kept it in play in front of Ogilvie, then played a slightly risky ball, almost back into his own penalty area. West Brom clear long through Furlong though, and the danger's gone for them for now. Malumbi scoops the ball over halfway, out of play. Portsmouth throw far side there, left back position. And Portsmouth, as I mentioned in the first half, they've only failed to score in one of their last 13 league matches. Usually they manage at least a goal, but coming from behind in the Championship is a very tough ask, especially against a West Brom team who've got so much confidence at the moment.
How much you'd love to have Colby Bishop on the pitch.
Well, that is a big miss, isn't it? Colby Bishop, who, if you were unaware, is out injured after undergoing heart surgery in the summer. Of course, that's the most important thing.
Absolutely, his health.
That surgery was a success, but of course there is a considerable period where he's going to be out as a result of all of that.
There was no Conor Shaughnessy as well. You know, he was the Players' Player of the Year last season in the League One Team of the Season. So, you know, it's two key players, one at one end, one at the other, added to such a tough fixture list. They've got to just keep their chins up, got to believe that they get through this difficult period, not being cut adrift. October, then they try and step it up and win some games, and then the belief comes back.
It's West Brom who look very comfortable at the moment. 2-0 in front. Williams for Portsmouth on the halfway line. Down the middle to Sadie, who let it run across his body. Little dummy as he hoped it would reach Lane. Lane was beaten to it though by Bartley. Shepherded it back to the goalkeeper, who hacks it high downfield. Palmer, and then there's a foul on the halfway line. It was a tangle of legs between Ogilvie and Fellows, and the decision goes West Bromwich Albion's way. Well, John Mousinho would have been hoping for an up-tempo start to the second half from his Portsmouth team. It hasn't materialised, and as we head ever increasingly towards the hour mark, I think Portsmouth are going to make at least one change. And Silvera is on loan from Middlesbrough and certainly going to be one of the players who is going to come on. And West Brom now with Hegan, left back midway inside Portsmouth territory. Lovely turn by Grant, but he can't get away from Lane. Lane makes the tackle, then gives it straight to Swift. Swift forward to Hegan. Hegan can't control under pressure from Lang, but then he wins it back. West Brom are first to all the second balls at the moment. Portsmouth look very flat out on the pitch, and there doesn't appear to be a great deal of belief that they can turn this around. At the moment it feels like it would take something from nothing. A very different feel to the game in the second half. Good ball by Ajayi, threaded up the far side the right. Furlong's pullback, turned behind by Ogilvie off his knees. That'll be a corner to West Brom in front of the Fratton end away to our left.
Yeah, Pompey look tired right now, don't they? And I'm not surprised that John Mousinho is thinking of substitutions just to do something different and also add a little bit of energy. They gave it their all in the first half, weren't able to break down a very solid West Brom defence. That second goal really has taken all the steam out of them, and they're not able really to look as if they're capable of getting one goal back, let alone two.
There'll be 3 changes for Portsmouth very shortly as we wait for this corner to be taken on the far side by the scorer of the fine second West Brom goal, Mowat. Lovely precision finish into the top corner. And Mowat with the mint coloured boots on, lots of West Brom yellow and blue shirts lurking in the penalty area. Portsmouth with everyone back. In by Mowat, left-footed, headed away by Pack in front of his own goalkeeper. It'll bounce down on the edge of the box, cleared by Murphy. Sadie looking to race clear on the counter-attack. Ball forward towards him was a really poor one by Williams, way overhit. And Malumbi gets across to send it back to the goalkeeper. Poor clearance by Palmer though. Lane from 25 yards, urged to shoot, lays it square instead to Murphy. Murphy, quick feet, left-footed shot. Oh, it's just wide. Flashed a yard or so wide of the near post from Josh Murphy. Some of the Portsmouth fans were on their feet. They thought it was going to end up in the back of the net. Only just wide of goal. A warning shot for West Brom, who still lead 2-0. An hour gone on TalkSport 2. Here's Scott Minter.
Yeah, and even though it's not a goal, it's lifted the whole crowd. It's given them something to get behind and shout about. No doubt about it. There's a lot of quality from Josh Murphy. I think the final ball from him has not quite been good enough as it could be, but very, very dangerous when he does get on the ball.
Well, the 3 changes for Portsmouth, Paddy Lane and Andre Dazelle, and the first 2 to leave the field, and the 3rd change is going to see Josh Murphy, who just had that very promising effort on goal, come off on his debut. He gets a standing ovation, has had an ankle injury, maybe that is some of the thinking for John Massinho. And the 3 coming on, the 19-year-old Abdoulaye Kamara, who joined in the summer from Dortmund, made his debut off the bench here in the defeat to Sunderland. He comes on. Harvey Blair, ex-Liverpool winger, and Sam Silvera on loan from Middlesbrough. Now the other 2 to take to the field for Portsmouth. So a little bit of youthful energy and exuberance onto the field. He had to do something,
yes,
didn't he, Scott?
Oh, absolutely. He's got to try and change it at this moment in time, walking towards defeat. But look, this is a really good West Brom side. I don't think they've been at their best, but they've created some fantastic chances, more so in the first half. And they have stepped it up in the second as well. Took a little bit of quality, or a lot of quality, from Alex Murray to score that second goal. Top corner, Will Norris, no chance whatsoever. But they just look a really well-organised outfit. I talked about how Carlos Corberán, I believe, will be managing in the Premier League within a few years. You can see how well organised they are, how well structured. Very good individuals, but also as a team they know exactly where they need to be to make themselves difficult to break and concede any goals.
And they're going for 3 straight wins away from home to start the league season as well, West Brom. They won at QPR on the opening day and have also won at Stoke. 2-0 up away at Portsmouth. 17.5 minutes into the second half. The ball out on the West Brom right with Fellows. A menacing run up to the corner of the penalty area. Thought about getting his shot away left-footed, blocked off, and Silvera with his first touch to win it back for Portsmouth has his shirt tugged by Fellows. Free kick, and that will be a yellow card out of the pocket of Lee Doughty, the referee. And now one of the West Brom players has thrown himself to the ground. It felt like relatively needlessly and totally out of nothing. And Furlong it was who's gone to ground, and I don't think the referee has much interest in what's just happened there. Certainly the Portsmouth supporters are fuming about it. There is a bit of activity on the West Brom bench down below as we're right on the halfway line, very back row of the main stand, and it's quite a steep drop to the touchline below.
That's a strange one. I mean, kind of Fulham, he's not one of those players just to go down and try and make a meal of it, but it looked like he's one of those players who went down and tried to make a meal of it.
I don't think the referee's done anything in terms of further punishment for anyone as a result of that. No, I think one yellow card in that passage of play was for the initial foul on Silvera by Fellows. I'm going to bring on the giant Uros Racic in just a few moments. West Brom. Now here's the yellow card out of the pocket of the referee. I think he's just put it back in his pocket. I don't think he's given a booking to anybody. Bit of confusion reigns here. Yeah. In the end, there's a throw to West Brom in their right back position. Furlong's going to take it, and he's got Portsmouth fans about a yard away from him at the very front of that north stand, and well, he's getting the verbals.
How much stick do you think he's getting?
You must have had some of that, Scott, playing in your position in a, you know, when you're on the touchline as a fullback.
Oh, absolutely. From the home fans as well.
Here come Portsmouth. Sadie pokes the ball hopefully up the left. Good pace by Silvera. He's bundled over by Furlong. Was it a 50-50 challenge? Furlong and Silvera going head to head. It's a throw to Portsmouth by the corner flag, and there are dozens of fans getting up out of their seats to have their say right behind them. You are right on top of the action if you're a fan of either of the two teams here. So close to the pitch. Portsmouth long throw coming up. 65 minutes gone. They're 2-0 down at home to West Brom. Live on your home of the EFL, Talk Sport 2. Birmingham against Wrexham live with us tomorrow night. Marlon Pack, couple of step overs on the far side. He's threaded the ball left, and an opportunity for the cross from Silvera, right-footed, charged down by Fellows. There's been a real diligence about the way West Brom have defended in the game so far. They're going to make a triple change. Grady Diangana, Jed Wallace, and the aforementioned Racic coming on shortly. Callum Lang trying to twist and turn on the edge of the West Brom area, and he was crowded out by a flurry of yellow and dark blue shirts around him. Heavy press by a combination of Kamara and McIntyre, this time on Moet, who manages just about to win West Brom a throw, but there's a bit more energy and impetus about Portsmouth now, and maybe with that West Brom are going to make these changes that we've been talking about. Diangana, Wallace and Ratchich coming on. Swift is the first to leave the field. Fellows, who set up the opening goal, another assist in the books for Tom Fellows today. He's also going off. Maybe understandable that, given that he's just been yellow carded. Carlos Corberán doesn't want to take any chances, and the other change is going to see Malumbi go off. It's not that often that you see that. What do you make of the substitution, Scott?
Well, in one sense I'm surprised, because West Brom are pretty much in control of the situation right now, and you don't always want to change things. You know, substitutions, you want to change for the better, but sometimes it can be changed for the worse. And when you're 2-0 up, you just kind of want the status quo just to carry on like this. On the other hand, you know, we mentioned about, was it the fifth game on the road that he's picked the same players, and maybe there's some players who perhaps from a physical point of view, a red zone point of view, you know, maybe weren't going to last the 90 minutes, so he's just nurturing them. And what he won't want are three players coming on and changing the game in a negative way, not quite getting up to the pace of the game, and suddenly Portsmouth scoring and they're back in it. Because 2-1, you can imagine how the stadium's going to be, can't you?
Oh, the fervour and the excitement will reach fever pitch, but West Brom are managing the game very well indeed so far as we head towards the final quarter of the action at Fratton Park. Malumbi with the interception to play it back to Bartley. He'll roll it to the feet of the goalkeeper, who hammers it clear downfield. Palmer long towards Madger, and McIntyre looked like he was climbing over the back of him. Madger appeals to the referee, nothing given. And Portsmouth have it back, and they need at least 2 goals as they seek to salvage a point here that at the moment feels like their best hope. The first senior meeting between these two teams for more than 15 years, back when they were both Premier League teams. 2-2 the final score that day at Fratton Park. Can Portsmouth find a route back into it? Here is Harvey Blair, the first real touch for him, racing up the near side, the right, drilling in a low cross. Palmer gloves it away, got a glancing touch on it. Meanwhile, Lang went down inside the penalty area, nothing given. West Brom able to survive, some promise for Harvey Blair down the near side, and now the referee is going to check on Lang, who is still down on his knees inside the West Brom 18-yard box.
Yeah, look, it's been very bitty in the last 10 or so minutes. I mean, at least there's been a few little sort of clashes and collisions that have been able to get the Fratton Park faithful up for it, because they were stunned and very quiet in the first sort of 15 minutes of that second half. And Portsmouth again still haven't really been able to create any chances at all. Still looking for that first shot on target, let alone that first goal. As I say, we're going towards the 90-minute mark of West Brom being a superbly organised outfit of, yes, sit up against the side with a hostile atmosphere, but coming in and being in reasonable control of the situation.
Just over 20 minutes to go. Carlin Grant in the left wing position. There was a nice ripple of applause when Jed Wallace came on, by the way, up against the club where he started his career, a former Portsmouth favourite. Now Madger, 10 yards from the edge of the box, blocked off by McIntyre. Not once, but twice by the former Reading man. Here is Wallace, out in the right-sided position. Back now to Ajayi, and here is Kyle Bartley, midway inside his own half of the field. Those two form two of the most experienced partnerships in the Championship at a central defensive level, and they know each other so well. They've played alongside each other for a number of years now in this West Brom team. It is quite a settled West Brom team. You can reel off a number of the names involved, plus a couple of new signings who've been added. And Kamara for Portsmouth with the bright yellow boots on. Gets a return ball, does the 19-year-old, but his square pass towards Pack is poor. Intercepted by Diangana. Madger's gone for goal from 45 yards, and it's wide. Saw the goalkeeper off his line and didn't actually try and lob Norris, tried to drill it beyond him. Norris wasn't sure of his position, And a little bit of a sigh of relief, I think, for the goalkeeper there, Scott.
He scrambled in the first second or two, didn't he? Then he realised it was going wide, and well, that would have been a sensational goal from Josh Madger, who's really enjoying himself this season, isn't he? And actually could and perhaps should have scored more than one goal today.
Wolves 0, Newcastle 0. Early stages in the Premier League game at Molineux. Arsenal 1-0 winners over Tottenham in the North London derby earlier. Dundee United 0, Rangers 1, a full-time score in Scotland. Mowat wins the ball back for West Brom. Less than 20 minutes left as Grant surges forward. He's got the pace to charge to the corner of the penalty area. Kamara is the player up with him, and he and Williams between them do enough to win it back for Portsmouth. There's still no change though really in the pattern of play. Portsmouth still not able to fashion that serious effort on target in the game. Here is Blair, tricky winger, former Liverpool youngster. Near side the right with the curly hair. He's taking on Grant. He's reached the dead ball line, and a low, bobbling ball into the near post. That's far too close for Palmer. And really, defensively, Carlos Corbrand's West Brom are looking comfortable.
Yeah, and do you know what? When you're that wide, the forwards have to realise he's not going to put in a wonderful David Beckham cross to the far post. You've got to get across the near. And no one sort of reading that situation. He was really almost in by the corner flag there, and you could see he was hooking. The best he could do was get it towards the near post, and that's where that appreciation of what your teammate can do, it isn't quite there. And again, the quality of the final third.
It may not get much easier for Portsmouth, as we've been alluding to, Scott and I. Burnley away from home in their next league game, and then they host Sheffield United here. And one thing that I'm sure they'll be keen to do is trying to restore Fortress Fratton Park. It'll be 2 home defeats from 3, and only 1 goal scored if the score stays like this. That was an own goal against Sunderland. Header away by Furlong from the right back position. The giant Rakic climbs for West Brom, just nudges the ball to his right, and Wallace now back to Furlong, and West Brom know they don't need to force the issue at 2-0 up.
No, the game management now, isn't it? 2-0 in control. Portsmouth, despite the substitutions, looking a bit tired.
Diangana with a low shot from up the middle, and that did take a little nick off Kamara, and so thought the referee, and that'll be a corner to West Brom in front of the Fratton end.
And again, all the time that West Brom are on the ball, or certainly got the ball in Portsmouth's half. Portsmouth not even able to get anywhere near West Brom's goal. And this really is a strong looking side. Like what I've seen from Portsmouth, and you can't just judge it, it's too early in the season. They are more than capable of staying up, but they're up against the side here who I think more than capable of going up. It'll be fascinating to see how Albion do this season.
West Brom will be top as it stands, 13 points in 5 games. Mowat's delivery, left-footed, Bartley's header loops over the top of the crossbar. Good contact on it from Kyle Bartley. He knows it was a decent opportunity, the centre-half. Not scored this season, couldn't quite keep it down. Elias Sørensen onto the field for Portsmouth here in place of Christian Seidi. Sørensen, who was a late call up to the bench because of a problem for Yengi. Sørensen, a summer signing.
When I was at
Newcastle
Chelsea,
player.
When I was at Chelsea, I remember one of the lads, I'm not going to mention names, he was in the squad but not on the bench, and he was actually eating chicken wings when he got the call and said, come downstairs, and it wasn't a healthy chicken wing either. We've had an injury, need you on the bench. Wallace has poked the ball through towards Madger in the area. Good sliding challenge by Williams. And he actually got on the last 10-15 minutes. Now, not in any way suggesting that Elias Sørensen was eating unhealthy chicken wings before he got
This was back in the 90s, wasn't it, Scott?
Back in the day.
You players could do whatever you wanted back then.
Yeah, we kind of did.
I bet some of the pre-match meals were legendary back in those days as well. I mean,
well, I go as far back as
now.
the late 80s, where it was steak and chips the night before a game, and actually a couple of pints as well if you're away from home.
Scott Minto played for Benfica, Chelsea, West Ham and others. Here's Grant on the halfway line for West Brom, given away to Williams, stretching to poke it forward towards halfway is Swanson. Down goes Blair, and he's been fouled. Regan Poole is going to make his long-awaited return from injury for Portsmouth in just a moment. The referee is going to let them make that change. There are less than 15 minutes to go. Portsmouth 0, West Brom 2. The game feels like it's petering out as Poole, finally back on the pitch, has been out since November last year. long-term injury. That's a big cheer and a big boost for Portsmouth as he comes on in place of another man who'd had real difficulties with injury, McIntyre.
Yes, it is. It's a real boost, and that's something which Portsmouth are going to need. But you know, last season was all about winning and very rarely losing. It was only 5 defeats in League One. Well, this season it's all going to be about, okay, I'm probably not going to win that many, but can we nick enough points to stay up? And they're going to need strength in depth, and what is, as we know, in the whole of the EFL, just such a difficult, long, hard, arduous campaign. They're going to need strength in depth, especially from the, not just the physical side of things, but the mental side of things.
And if you're a Portsmouth fan, you can call the final word on TalkSport from 6:30 to have your say tonight. 03717 223344 is the number. Marlon Pack goes crossfield with the outside of his boot, out to the left to Silvera. Silvera suddenly trying to quicken the pace. He's dribbled towards the corner of the box, but West Brom have got everybody back behind the ball, and there's not much space for Portsmouth to work with from an attacking perspective here. And Kamara turning away from Madger and being tracked every step of the way, knocks the ball up the inside right channel to Williams. Williams holds up possession, not really got an obvious target man to aim at in the middle, Portsmouth. And then with that you come back to Colby Bishop, obviously, who can't play at the moment. Marlon Pack's sweeping ball, high ball to the left, well brought down by Silvera. Nice control, level with the edge of the box. They're 2-0 down Portsmouth. Silvera's curler headed away by Bartley. That looked like it could have been goal bound, and Portsmouth denied. And we're at the stage in the game, Scott Minto, only 12.5 minutes of normal time left. Good run up the right hand edge of the penalty area by Lang, and he's turned away from Hegem and dinks in the right footed cross, headed away by Ajayi. Comes down to Swanson, controlled it on his chest, the angle's very tight. Mowatt's gone down under his challenge, and the assistant, actually I'm not sure the assistant did flag, but either way the free kick's been given.
Yeah, I wasn't sure that was a foul. I think Mowat got the touch, realised where he was and bought the foul. And look, it's unfortunate for Portsmouth, it really is. They're giving it absolutely everything with what they've got, but they just haven't got enough. You know, still struggling to test Alex Palmer. They put the cross in, and if it's not Ajayi, it's Bartley who's heading it out. You know, so well organised. At times it's like a 4-4-2 without the ball, and it's very difficult to kind of break them down.
As if to illustrate the depth that West Brom have got in their squad. 2-0 ahead, and they can bring on Mikey Johnston and Lewis Dobbin very shortly. Dobbin, who's on loan from Aston Villa, and Johnston, who had a great loan spell from Celtic last season and has really spoken about the great working relationship he's got with Carlos Corberán. He's now back on a permanent contract, so the now former Celtic man ready to take to the field. And those options off the bench, you contrast them, don't you, between the two teams?
Absolutely.
Really.
And you know, sort of saying about any team in the Championship, whether you're fighting against relegation or fighting for promotion, you need that strength in depth. You will get injuries, you will get loss of form, and I'm really interested to see what's going to happen with Mikey Johnston, because he did so well last season. But Carlton Grant, to be fair, has started off the season really well, and we know that Carlos Corberán has named an unchanged side in every league game so far. But Mikey Johnston hasn't come back to the club and signed on the permanent deal to be sitting on the bench. So at some point I can see him starting.
Well, here comes Johnston replacing Grant, and Josh Madger's going to go off as well. A big cheer for Mikey Johnston as he takes the field from the 2,000 West Brom supporters, and Madger taking a slow walk as Lewis Dobbin comes on. But what of Josh Madger today, Scott? He's got another for the season. That's 5 this campaign now, all of those coming in the Championship. He could have had more than that as well, but I wonder where you think he could be in terms of the scoring charts if he stays fit.
Well, yeah, 1, staying fit, and 2, he's never really had a fully successful long campaign, like whole of a season. He's been very good in half seasons. So you're looking at consistency. You know, all you can say is at the moment he started the season obviously really well indeed, but question marks will be there when, you know, winter comes in, and can he keep on going at game after game, as again we know how physically tough this division is. But I tell you what, if he carries on like this, he is going to take West Brom very close to automatic promotion.
Less than 10 minutes of normal time remaining now as Palmer clears long for West Brom. Lovely cushion header infield by Dobbin to find Johnston. Wallace is occupying the forward role now against his old team for West Bromwich Albion. Johnston tears cross-field into the centre circle and plays it out to Hagan. Further wide with the angled ball down the left to Diangana. Now back to Johnston again. You're listening to TalkSport 2. And TalkSport with all the reaction at the moment to the North London derby. Won this afternoon by Arsenal by 1-0. Hagan infield to Johnston. Collects possession midway inside opposition territory. West Brom keeping the ball very neatly, and they look sprightly in terms of those who've come on. Remember, they're all pushing for a start for next week. I wonder whether Carlos Corberán may end up tweaking his starting 11 sooner rather than later, or Scott Minto, will he keep it going for a sixth game?
Look, if he had a midweek game, then I'd say, okay, maybe you start making changes. 3 games in a week obviously is very difficult from a physical point of view, but in terms of the league, they're not playing until next weekend. And if I'm part of a side that's top of the table, I'm saying to the manager, why are you changing the winning side?
Well, they are leading here by 2-0 as Bartley smuggles the ball out of play. Just over 8 minutes to go.
But that's where the man management of the players he has are not in the side that comes in from Carlos Corberán. He's got to say, look, your time will come, we will need you at some point soon, but at this moment in time, how can I drop any players that are starting so well and taken us to the top of the table?
I think the record for unchanged teams in the Championship at the start of the season is 8, something like 8.
Okay.
Wigan Athletic, that team that got promotion to the Premier League under Paul Jewell about 20 years ago now. Ogilvie out on the left for Portsmouth. Portsmouth are absolutely trying as hard as they can. There's lots of endeavour about the Portsmouth team, but still waiting for that quality in the final third. Forward by Swanson towards Blair, swept into touch by Bartley, who wants to see more from Diangana in terms of tracking back.
Yeah, there's quality play, it's leadership from Carl Bartley. First of all, making sure he gets in front of Blair, and then having a go at his teammate for perhaps just being half a yard off it.
And this time Diangana's done well, tracking back in combination with Hagan. Wallace collects possession midway inside his own half. The number 7 forward to Racic. Neat little Cruyff turn, touch away from Silvera, and Furlong has placed the ball forward to the feet of Dobbin. Loose pass this time by Racic. Portsmouth win it back. Portsmouth 2-0 down, and of course they will remain in the bottom 3. Very early days, but the longer you wait for that first win, I guess, I wonder as a player, Scott, what happens to confidence and when you're coming into a game feeling a bit more nervous each time?
It's not nice. It's not nice, especially when you've come up for the first time in more than a decade and you want to prove that you are a championship player.
Good ball up the inside right channel towards Sørensen for Portsmouth. Goalkeeper came out, and between he and Ajayi, who came across to shepherd it behind, West Brom do enough to win a goal kick in front of their fans.
But I go back to the fact, if you look at the fixture list, what are the teams that they've played so far, the teams that are about to play in the next few games. I don't judge Portsmouth right now. I'll judge them at the end of October when they've played some of the teams. You're thinking, okay, well, now's your time to win. And what you don't want is that confidence sort of chipped away at by the time you meet those teams that you'd be thinking on paper, we should go and win these games. And also, if you're cut adrift a little bit, you feel the pressure because they're almost must-win games, or becoming must-win games, rather than games that, okay, we should win this, but let's just go out and play. So absolutely, they really could do with a win within this tough period, but I don't see where it's going to come with Burnley and Sheffield United coming up next.
Less than 6 minutes to go here. After those 2 matches, Portsmouth away at Stoke, at home to Oxford and away at QPR. But then you put pressure on those matches and suddenly they take on significance.
You go back to the cliche of the Championship being, there's no easy game. It's tough, but they need to find a way to win, because you can justify this and the fans can understand it, especially with the passion that the players are giving and the commitment. But when you get to the end of October, and if they still haven't won a game then things can start to change in terms of the mood around the stadium, and then that emits onto the players who can lose confidence, and the body language can change. So yeah, very difficult indeed.
Some of the Portsmouth fans heading for the exits here. 5 minutes to go, 2-0 to West Brom. And the game feels over as a contest, really.
Yeah. It's felt it since the second goal, really, isn't it?
Yep.
I think West Brom have been superb in terms of that game management. Still incredibly, 85 minutes in, Portsmouth's not a shot on target.
The free kick by Wallace, high into the area, Furlong with the header over the top. And the chances that have come in this second half, the goal from Mowat, and then really the other half chances have been West Brom opportunities.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on goals on target watch for Portsmouth. No, let's try and at least get a shot on target.
Well, it'll have to be on target if it's a goal,
well,
that's
absolutely,
for sure.
Absolutely. Well, let's start, first of all, get one on target, and then we can find a way how we can get
I guess, Scott, there was that massive period of pressure after they conceded the opener, where for 10 to 15 minutes they were dominant.
Yes.
That was crucial, they just couldn't score. And West Brom have won it back now with Ratchich. Wallace darting up to the inside right channel, sets up Dobbin, angle tight, double deflection off Ogilvie and then Dobbin, and a goal kick to Portsmouth.
Should have cut the ball back. Really should have done. Ratchich made a really good run into the box. And yeah, it was a little bit greedy there from Dobbin.
Here is Kamara for Portsmouth. High hopes for the young man. 4-year contract he signed this summer. And turning in the centre circle is Lang, turning into trouble. It's won back by Ajayi. You can see the body language of some of these Portsmouth players, visibly the belief that was maybe there at 1-0. As you say, Scott, just doesn't seem to be there at this stage in the game as well. 3.5 minutes plus added time left. There might be 3 or 4 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the game, but it doesn't feel remotely like there's enough time in this match for Portsmouth to turn things around. No,
unfortunately they've come up against a team that, as I say, are so well organised and yet have that bit of star quality going forward, as we've seen with the second goal, that I think even if we played another 90 minutes, Portsmouth wouldn't get, well, I don't know about a shot on target, but I don't think they'd score a goal.
It feels like the spark that they had in the first half for long periods has just wilted and withered away in the second half.
Yeah, it's not as if they're giving up. But,
no, definitely not.
It's just that real belief. It's been taken away from them.
Williams over the halfway line for Portsmouth. 2-0 down here. Last 2.5 minutes of normal time. The West Brom fans on their feet, all 2,000 behind the goal to the right hand side. It'll be a good journey back up the motorway into the Midlands for them, and then Plymouth at home, Sheffield Wednesday away, which we'll have commentary of for you on TalkSport 2 couple of weekends time. If you're a West Brom fan, I know Plymouth got a great win yesterday over Sunderland, and Sheffield Wednesday got a point, didn't they, against QPR. But if you're a West Brom fan, you're thinking, well, perhaps that could be 2 more wins and 6 from 7.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not as if you're starting to tick off the games already, but if you can build on the momentum that you've got against teams that actually, again, you should be winning, although sometimes they can be the ones that sometimes you slip up in. But no, the way that this team is, both with and without the ball, I think is high quality, and I would be very surprised if they don't get 6 points out of 6 in those next 2 matches.
Here's Ogilvie, halfway line. Good noise from the Portsmouth fans, defiant more than anything as we reach the last 90 seconds of normal time. 2-0 down Portsmouth. Swanson's right-footed cross is a really poor one into the near post, and I think he's lucky really that he's got a corner out of that off Hegan.
Look, he is, but when the ball's bouncing like that, but you feel like you've got to take it first time, it's actually a very difficult cross to do technically. He could try to have stopped the ball and got it in with a second touch, but he wanted to try and get it in first time.
Well, Pack is going to take the resulting corner from the near side, the right-footed and out-swinging and headed up into the air by Bartley, who wanted a foul, didn't get it. Miscued clearance by Wallace has dropped down to Pack. Little square ball infield to Blair. Corner of the penalty area. Wriggles away from 3 in yellow and blue. He's got to the byline. It's a brilliant run by Blair, but he could only flash the cross as he stumbled, slightly lost balance into the side netting. That was a really promising direct run, but a few more Portsmouth fans get up out of their seats in front of us now, and I think the sense around the ground is, despite a good effort, the game is done.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Blair did really well. He got inside the box. You can see that West Brom players didn't want to make that tackle, but I felt almost he took an extra step where he should have just hammered it across the 6-yard box, and by taking that step, he was a little bit off balance by the time he tried to, and ended up being a goal kick in the end, but at least he showed positivity of trying to get in and do something.
Here comes Johnston into the area, right-footed shot, beaten out by the goalkeeper, drops down towards Ratchich, and a foul by Pack, although I thought he got the ball, stretching to beat Ratchich to it. Yellow card for Pack from the referee. Free kick right on the edge of the box here for West Bromwich Albion as we go into 5 minutes of added time.
No, I'm with you on that one. I think it's because of the way he was sprinting in, Ratchich, and I thought he got the ball, perhaps got a bit of the man as well, but it wasn't one of those where you say, well, no, that was a reckless tackle. I think he counted himself very unlucky because of the pace that Rakic was running with. It made it look worse than what it was. And to compound that, he's got a yellow card as well. And also now, 25 yards out, bang in front of goal. Perfect for a left footer, perhaps even a right footer as well. And it'd be really unfair. It's definitely not a 3-0 game. We'll see what happens here though.
45 seconds into 5 added at the end of the match. 2-0 to West Brom. Free kick very much within shooting range. It is what, a yard or so from the edge of the D, right of centre. Who's it set up perfectly for here? Scott, is it going to be the left foot of Mowat or the right of Johnston?
Well, I would have thought Mowat perfectly because it's kind of central, but you're right, it's just a couple of yards to the right, which then gives a little bit of leeway for the left footer. But I mean, if you're a right footer and you fancy your chances here, you could still go over the wall, sort of near post, or you could whip it to the far.
A stoppage time at the end of the game, just under 25 yards out. Free kick West Brom. Mowat left-footed. Oh, it's magic! Magnificent Mowat, his second, West Brom's third, to set the seal on a comprehensive away day victory. Alex Mowat once again picks out the top corner with aplomb, and West Brom have cruised to victory on the south coast. And you have to wonder, maybe this season are the good times coming back for the Baggies. Portsmouth 0, West Brom top of the table 3.
Well, it's still a little bit early to be saying that, but this looks a strong side that's at least going to be top 6 and perhaps fighting for top 2. As I say, I think it's really harsh. It's not been a 3-0 game, but West Brom have been quality. They really have going forwards, and defensively, I mean, they've been superb. Again, we're just literally a minute or so, or a couple of minutes away from the final whistle, and yet Portsmouth have given it everything, playing at home in this atmosphere, not able to get a shot on target. But that is absolute quality. You ask me who could it favour, it definitely favoured a left footer.
3-0 to West Bromwich Albion. And it does feel harsh on Portsmouth in the context of the first half in particular, but the nature of the reality of Championship football coming to the fore once again. There's a ruthlessness about some of these teams, and West Bromwich Albion are potentially right up there.
Yeah, do you know what? It's really harsh, but this is what top teams do in any division. And the quality of the left foot of Alex Mowat. Again, it could have been a right footer, but it did slightly favour the left. But still, you have to get it over the wall. And look, Will Norris didn't even move. He knew he was nowhere near that ball, and he was thinking, please don't go in. But it was top corner. It was a wonder strike, it really was, giving the keeper no chance whatsoever. I do think it's really harsh on Portsmouth, but it shows the quality that Albion have this season.
Well, there are large numbers of empty seats here at Fratton Park at this stage in the game. 3-0 to West Brom. Less than 90 seconds to go now, as Mowat gets to his feet on a hat-trick. Alex Mowat, don't often see that in the course of his career.
I wonder if he's ever had one.
He's still making the point about no shots on target for Pompey.
No shot watch. I'm just showing Sam alongside.
Sam Matterface is on Talk Sport right now. If you want to have your say, Portsmouth or West Brom fans, 037 17 22 33 44, and you can join Talk Sport to have your say. Mikey Johnston to the edge of the box now. He goes down as if tripped. Pack has a nibble at him, can't quite win it back for Portsmouth. Now Rakic seizes upon it and has driven down towards the corner flag. That looked more of a free kick on Johnston than the tackle by Pack that led to the third.
Yeah, and then the way Mikey Johnston got up straight away, as if he kind of knew. And I just know it happens when you're I don't want to say down there, because again it's still early, but obviously Portsmouth are in terms of where the table are. But when things aren't going for you, I go back to the fact that they have given it absolutely everything, but in terms of where it really matters in the box, they just haven't got that quality. They've just come up against a side that's too good for them. They won't be relegated on games like this though.
Header away by Bartley for West Brom, and now Diangana from the left back position. We've had 5 minutes of added time. 5 were allotted. Only seconds to go here at Fratton Park on a day that began brilliantly for West Brom and is going to end with on the face of it, another very convincing victory, another one away from home. 3 straight away league wins to start the championship season for Carlos Corberán. High ball forward up towards Wallace, headed away by Williams for Portsmouth, and now Swanson floats the ball long to Sørensen, who just about managed to make it stick. Poked it back to Kamara. Only seconds to go here now, and the muted noise from the Portsmouth fans who've tried to keep going right to the end. A slide tackle on the halfway line by Pack to win possession. Kamara up the middle to Silvera, 25 yards out. Hassled and harried all the way by Semi Ajayi. There's a determination about West Bromwich Albion to keep a clean sheet. And they do. And not only did they keep a clean sheet, more importantly than that, it is 4 wins from 5 to start the league season for West Bromwich Albion, and they are top of the championship. It may be early, but it's an early statement of intent from Carlos Corberán's team. Real hope that the Baggies can make the jump back to the Premier League this campaign. 13 points from their first 5 games of the season is an excellent return from a team who have shown super consistency so far, particularly away from home, where they picked up 3 wins from 3 in the league. West Brom very much up there with the teams to watch in the championship this season. The game started perfectly. Josh Madger opening the scoring after less than 55 seconds. It ended brilliantly too. Alex Mowat scoring the second of his 2 goals with a free kick in stoppage time. Before that, he'd made it 2-0 just 7 minutes into the second half. Both of Mowat's goals were excellent finishes. The first of them and the second of the game for West Brom really knocked the stuffing out of Portsmouth, who are still looking for their first win of the campaign. Portsmouth 0, West Brom 3. And very much contrasting emotions at the end, Scott Minto.
Absolutely. You know, watching the Albion players go to the fans will be absolutely delighted with what they've seen. I mean, they were very good going forward, but they were absolutely superb defensively. And I mean that as a team. So difficult to break down. Portsmouth gave it their all. I mean, little did we know, really, the winner came in the first minute. You know, Portsmouth not able to even get a shot on target, let alone a goal. But I think that goes to show the quality of Pegum. He's come in, you know, he's playing left back at the moment, even got forward and whipped in a wonderful ball, but just solid defensively. Carl Bartley and Ajayi, brilliant as a central defensive partnership. Darnell Fuller, one of the best.
That is the end of the game, of that awesome match. And thank you guys for all the support. We have got to 521 subscribers, and that is unbelievable. I never thought we could get any closer than we have ever gotten, and I've never ever been this far up in the subscribers. But anyway, guys, thank you for all the support, and there you go. West Brom have scored, and they have as well won the game. And they will be going home with smiles on their faces, and Portsmouth with sad faces and angry faces as well. But wow, what an amazing match that was. 0-3 is unbelievable. And there you go, the Baggies. They call them the Baggies. And they have done it really well. So thank you for all the support. Please like and subscribe and post notifications. And I will see you all soon. The next stream will be tomorrow against Birmingham City versus Wrexham. And that is in the League One. And that is a League One match. So I hope you will all ready for that stream. Strap yourselves in. And I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you for all the support. I'll say it again. Thank you for everything. It's been absolutely brilliant. I know I haven't been talking through it, but there you go. It's now the end of the stream. Thank you for everyone. And I'm going to say it again. Thank you for everything. Okay, guys. Anyway, it is Portsmouth 0, West Brom 3. Bye for now.
productioncrate.com.